Welcome to Imagine Peace, the podcast that invites you on a transformative journey toward a world filled with harmony and understanding. Together, let's ignite the flame of peace within ourselves and radiate it outward so we can have a future where unity prevails. This is Imagine Peace, where dreams become reality. Join us as we explore the power of compassion, the beauty of diversity, and the potential for positive change. Hi, and welcome to Imagine Peace. I'm MarBeth Dunn here with my beautiful partner, Teri Angel. And today we have an amazing guest, Karen Lee Cohen. She's an 8-time Regional Emmy Award-winning producer and executive producer, former director of programs for WNBC-TV in New York, and founder and president of Crystal Pyramid Productions, Inc., her 2023 NIEA award-winning prescriptive memoir, It's About Time. My award-winning TV adventure describes the ups and downs of her long-time career in the television business, gives tips to up-and-comers looking to get in and stay in the business, and the spiritual threads throughout her career. She also shares stories of working with celebrities like Della Reese and Bob Hope, Rod Serling, Lily Tomlin, Peter Allen, Jewel, and Al Roker. Currently, she's in the process of writing her second book, tentatively titled Let's Be Peace, a collaborative work about alternative health and wellness modalities and spiritual journeys. Her entrepreneurial goals include launching a podcast, followed by a streaming video service, exploring the multitude of options we all have on our personal journey to health and wellness. Wow, I'm just so thrilled that you are here with us today, Karen. So I have a question. Where did the idea of the Let's Be Peace book, podcast, and movement come from?
It was actually a journey. Back in 2004, I worked for Jewel, actually her mom, who ran her production company. And her name is Lenedra Carroll, and she wrote a book called The Architecture of All Abundance. And it was published right around the time I was working with them. And in it, Lenedra speaks about being peace. And I immediately resonated with that. And so on all my social media, I would do #BePeace. And while I was doing that, one point I asked my niece, Alyssa, I said, what do you think of that? And she's quite a bit younger than me. Let's say she's my niece. And she said, it's too demanding. I said, oh, okay. And at the time I was working with a woman named Dorothy Lee Donahue, and she was doing workshops on energetic alchemy and Reiki. And she always talked about when she was in business, she always said, let's do this. And I went, well, that's really a nicer way of putting it. So I changed it to Let's Be Peace and did my hashtag with that. And after I wrote my prescriptive memoir, and it's called Prescriptive because I talk about what the different roles are in television. So it's a teaching book as well as lots of stories. And I was going to follow it up with a second book about my spirituality and my health and wellness journey. And the last 2 chapters of my book talk about that, but I was going to go forward with that. And I kept getting stuck. It just wasn't flowing. And so I was in a workshop, and I got that it was really for me to be doing a collaborative book, because so much of what my passion is to let people know that there are many alternatives for health and wellness. And 15 years ago, I was with a group. We were trying to do a health and wellness channel, alternative health and wellness. It didn't happen, but it's been for a very long time part of what I know I'm here to help people just understand. So it became obvious to me that this needed to be filled with experts who could talk about the modalities with real knowledge about it. I can tell you what worked for me, but I wanted people to have a broader spectrum, and so the Let's Be Peace book became an idea. And I've been gathering experts in many different fields and I have a series of questions that they can either write in a chapter or be interviewed about. And most of them represent different modalities, but what I'm finding is that many people really take an overview of modalities and make it their own. And so it's not just acupuncture, not there's anything wrong with this or just tapping or some of the other modalities, but they have a combination. And what I'm also finding, and Teri, you and I were just talking about that the angels have kind of just let it's becoming its own entity. So I'm not sure when it's going to be done, because people keep coming to me like Kumari, who's one of your colleagues, and I'm just allowing that to happen, and hopefully it will become a podcast after that. So it's kind of evolving, and I know it's going to be whatever it's supposed to be. But I do also know, and it came to me through writing my memoir, that my mission, the reason I came here this lifetime, is about peace. It's about creating peace. It's about sharing the concept of peace. And so I'm at the point that I know that this is my mission and this is my purpose. And it's one of the things I want to help other people discover about themselves, whatever the mission purpose is.
I love it. I am so resonating with you right now. I'm all about peace myself. So your podcast, have you formulated what that might look like and where you will do this? And tell us a little bit about what you're thinking along that line.
Yeah, it's going to, right now, the podcast becomes so obvious because I have so many people now who are contributing to the book, and some will and some won't, necessarily be in the book. But they alone, just having them, me interview them is going to, be the first 20 podcasts. So that's really what it's going to be. It's going to be talking about, as in the book, their concept of peace, what peace is and how we can attain peace. I've never told anybody what I want them to write about, what my mission is and what my belief is. But I will tell your audience that my belief is that when we are peace within, we will create health and wellness. And when we are healthy and well, we will create peace in within. And this is a concept that I pretty much originally got from Lenedra, is that, peace is going to come to this world one person at a time. When each of us when we're peaceful within, there's going to be peace without. And it's wonderful if you do something active to pursue it, but also just being peace is going to create peace, and I find that in my own life. I'm just blessed with people who say, well, I feel so much more calm or peaceful, and these are, people that I worked with, that just, it tends to be a thread. And it's long before I talked about peace, and that's something that I'm sure the two of you also receive, that, your peace and that alone is spreading the peace. And that's what I encourage other people to do, to find inside, go inside and find that peaceful place. And it will also bring health and wellness. So that brings the other part of my mission into the podcast. So that's what the podcast is going to be about. Alternative health and wellness modalities and peace.
Beautiful. So I have a question about all of the Emmys that you've won. You've been in TV a long time, and as a producer. And how has the piece really evolved in terms of your work? With the TV studios and working with deadlines and stress and all of that fun stuff that have to do with producing different things.
Yeah, I can't say that I actively knew that was my mission when I was doing that. When I wrote my memoir, I realized how much a thread that was in my life, not necessarily the peace, but just that, just the spirituality came up and my angels and guides. So I wasn't conscious while I was doing it. And there were certain things that I believed in doing. I was fortunate enough. I was so fortunate to have mentors who, when I was program director in New York, we in those days, we did a lot of good for the community. And we did a lot of documentaries, primetime documentaries. And I had a policy that we would only do documentaries that had a solution. So not that there's only one solution, but if you're going to point out a problem, you have to be able to show solutions. And so I was in a position where I was for the 8 years that I was at WNBC in New York, I was able to guide the programming, which was kind of wonderful. Anyway, some of those won Emmys and some of them didn't. And that really wasn't the goal. The goal was to really serve the community. And again, at the time that I was program director, my station manager and general manager, and we were all very much in accord with that was our job as running a local television station. So I can't say that had anything to do with the Emmys, but I'm assuming my angels and guides did.
I bet they did. So I'm curious, Karen, you know that what we do at 10 Million for World Peace is all about meditation and sending out that energy to the collective to bring in more peace. What is your experience with meditation?
I do mostly guided meditations.
Okay.
That's what's the most comfortable for me. I do my prayers and gratitudes before I get out of my bed. That's how I start, every morning. And that's how when I get back into bed before I go to sleep, I do my prayers and personal prayers and gratitudes. And that's my personal form of meditation. But I don't know if you know who Patricia Cota Robles is. She does,
Yes.
she does her weekly vlogs. I listen to that. I have quite a few people like that I'll listen to.
That's beautiful because it definitely keeps you in a place where you are radiating peace. I can totally feel it.
Oh, thank you so much.
How can people get in touch with you, Karen?
The best way is the website, Let's Be Peace, letsbepeace.com. And you can, sign up, and you give them your email address. You can have a gift of a list of some of the teammates that I've had for health and wellness over the years. And so you can download the PDF of that, and gives you some idea. The angel lady who I just adore, named Sue Storm. So it gives you a bunch. Patricia's on that list of people to contact if you're interested. And if you're all interested in my book, I don't know you would be, but it's on Amazon. It's About Time, my award-winning TV adventure, and It's About Time this week. I wrote that because it was many nominations before I actually won my first Emmy. So It's About Time is what I wrote there. But you can get that on Amazon or on the letsbepeace.com website. And I'd love to, if you sign up for that, be happy to send you a signed book. And there's just one more thing that I've recently just embraced and want to share with your audience. And that's, someone asked me recently, what is it that I would advise people on how to be peace? And love and trust yourself is what I was given. And that's going to be one of my new signatures. And probably now that we're talking about it, probably that'll be my signature on the podcast. Love and trust yourself.
I love that. Yeah,
Wonderful.
love and trust yourself.
Another one of the gifts from the angels, I'm sure. It just kind of popped out.
How it happens. Thank you so much, Karen. We so enjoyed having you here today.
Well, thank you both. I've so enjoyed meeting you, and I know we will be in close touch for a long time.
So many blessings to you. I love your energy. Thank you again for being with us.